Hello, Dr. Marcy here, welcoming you to a new episode of The Connecting Point. I want to take the time now to give you the opportunity to join me in transforming the world for the better. How can you do that? Just stop now, click like, and share this video so that others may be inspired. And I thank you all for your continued support. I hope that you will enjoy tonight's discussion. Hello, and welcome to The Connecting Point. I am Dr. Marcy, your facilitator for this discussion today. This is the place where creators connect to inspire, share their ideas and stories, to transform the world through raw and unedited talk. And today, guys, I am here, yes, with a creator, a vocalist, and I'm not going to tell you the rest. I'm going to let him tell you the rest. But this is Mr. Jamar Langley. I'm excited that you are here with me in a discussion. Welcome to The Connecting Point, Mr. Langley.
Dr. Marcy, it's great to be here. Thank you for welcoming me. What a beautiful introduction. I'm Jamar Langley, and as she said, I'm a creator and a vocalist, instrumentationalist. I don't even know if that's a
all
word
of that
for today. So all of that stuff, anything pertains to music, I am. So it's a pleasure to be
here. Now, Mr. Langley, I must tell the connecting point, thus the name of this platform. Now, Mr. Langley and I have just met today.
That's right.
Okay? I just want people to understand connections work. Okay? Connections are important. However, someone reached out to me about this gentleman and speaking with this gentleman, and I started looking at who he was. I started what they call researching him. Yes, I did.
Come on.
And he is phenomenal. Mr. Langley was a contestant on The Voice. How many of you have watched The Voice? Yes. Season 23, am I correct?
You're
Mr.
correct.
Langley? And
yes,
you reached the top 20?
That's right. Top
Who's
20.
ever heard of that?
Come on. It's a blessing.
And so I am excited for you, and I'm excited for the listeners today because we get to delve a little deep into how Mr. Langley even had this wonderful opportunity to be on The Voice. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Langley, I always ask my guests to tell where they are now and where they are from. So can you give us a little background on yourself?
Yes. Well, I'm currently in Atlanta, but I am from Andrews, South Carolina, born and raised in the country. So things I grew up with is music, church, sports, anything to stay out of trouble. Okay. So music was just in my family. My mom and dad, they're the pioneers of that. I always tell everyone that my mom and dad were the first real superstars I ever saw in person. My dad plays guitar, my mom sung. So that's where it all started for me. And from there, I started to grow into it and, started to grow to love it more and more. So by the age of about 12, I was writing songs and learning how to play the keyboard. So it's my first instrument. And as that went on, of course, I'm in school and there's sports and there's basketball and soccer and track. And so like music still wasn't even at the top of the list, but I knew I always had like a very, God-given gift to do it. So it wasn't until about 18 or 19 is when it's like, it hit me like, okay, like music is my calling. It's my gift. Is what I'm supposed to do.
That is important to know.
Yeah.
And, I have young people who watch this podcast, and I always try to use a moment to speak to them. And so can you talk a little bit about how did you even know that was something you aspired to do, the music thing? What do you remember the day and when it just hit you like, this is it, this is my gift, this is my purpose? How did you know?
Honestly, it took some validation from my family members as well. But when you're sleeping and then you're in that time when you're alone and you're by yourself and all you could do is like, even out of like habit, you're singing, you're in song, you're always writing something down. That's how I was. Like if I'm not writing something down, I'm singing, and I started to realize that I liked practicing and singing more than actually going outside and playing basketball and all these things I love. I was coming home like from school to practice music, and that's when I really realized that, oh my goodness, not only do I love this, but just hearing myself, I'm like, I could really sing beyond like the normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I really got like my first wedding, which was my aunt's wedding, and I was able to play and sing. And the way it was coming out of me, the way it was flowing, I was like, man, God really gave me a true gift. And to see the reaction of people, and people always telling me that, one day I'm going to do something great. I bought into what I was hearing and bought into also like who I was. So like I started to believe, what was coming out of me basically. And
So
I just
I imagine it was like a euphoria, when you're singing, you just know it because it's a natural high.
yes.
Uh-huh.
And,
I know what you're talking about.
I'm glad we connected. Yeah.
That's a connecting point because I do know that.
Yeah.
So and I work with, I'm a music integrationist. So I work with children in music.
Wow. Great.
And so that is another connecting point that we have that you didn't know.
I didn't know.
But
Every
I
day.
am. So let's talk a little bit about the voice. Now, when I say the voice, I know we're talking about the TV show, yes, but I'm going to go a little deeper. The voice that you carry.
Mm.
How has that voice opened doors for you?
Well, yes, this voice, oof, has opened a lot of doors. Really, there was a point in time, when I thought the voice that I had was just, going to be in the background, because when I moved from Andrews, from South Carolina to Atlanta in 2012, I didn't exactly get right to it, and I wasn't the first one they called on stage. Being that I was such a fluent musician, the voice wasn't at the forefront at first. It's really me playing on people's tracks and, being called in to play with people. And it's like this same voice was kind of put in the background, which I didn't understand at the time. But as you go through and you're placed in the background and you go through these failures over and over, you do have time to do one thing, and that's perfect that voice in your downtime. You could choose to be sad for the failures and be sad because you're not, this person went before you that made you feel like that's not as talented and passionate as you, or you could just work in your downtime until your moment comes. So what I did with this voice is I just kept working in the background, and so when it was time for me to go to the studio and sing and write, it was always effortless because I'm always working on my downtime and not really paying attention to the length of time it's taking, but really focusing on, until the time comes, just really perfecting my craft. And so when I got the call for the voice, I was beyond ready to go on stage. I'd already done videos and interviews and used to being in front of cameras and having to act and portray something. All that stuff I was already equipped in, much more than most of the contestants, actually. I would say probably 95, 96% of the contestants I had more experience than probably all of them, but I'm
Well,
going to be.
you just said something that is important. I'm going to point out because this platform is about inspiring others.
Yes.
You said you had been preparing. See, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That is true.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
that's
stayed ready.
mm-hmm.
You stayed ready and you were consistent. I don't know how many times I've said that. You must remain consistent
Yes.
at
Yes.
what you're doing. And then guess what? Your name will be spoken in rooms that you're not even in yet.
Yes.
Did that happen to you?
Yes, it
Your
did.
name was spoken in rooms that you weren't in yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what now? The voice, I want to hear this story. How did you respond when you heard from the voice?
Oh, my response was actually like it was a relief more than anything because I'm looking at the length of time. I moved in 2012. Here it is, 10 years later, 2022. And and if you understand your Bible, you understand that 10, is a
Mm-hmm.
complete something and the start of something else. Don't get me to preaching. That's my brother's
Come on,
job.
it's all right.
But,
This platform
so
is
I'm not,
okay.
but like, no, but like, I just felt like it came at a time where, okay, we're going into a new year. And here I am. I've already pre-auditioned for The Voice. I already know that I won The Voice. And it's about to air in 2023. And I'm like, would you look at this? Um, how else do I respond? Like, what? I'm excited, but I was ready. I was ready to go and I was ready to sing. And I always said if there's for some reason I didn't make it all the way, I would know it wouldn't be because of my talent. It would have to be because of something else. Because I knew what I was bringing when I first stepped on that stage for the very first time.
So, did you seek after the voice or they
Oh,
looked for you?
so The Voice wrote me. A casting agent actually wrote me on Instagram, which is
Ah,
a whole other thing. So and it
yeah.
just being patient and everything you say, the consistency and just sticking with it because they wrote me the message and all I did is respond. And when it was time to send everything, pictures, videos, covers, because I never really auditioned. Like I didn't like set my camera up and do like a 2-minute song to show them I could sing. I just sent all of my professional videos, pictures, a documentary, just covers that I did, and that was enough. And they was like, okay, maybe you you overshared, but I'm like, hey, this is what I've been doing. I want y'all to know that I'm for real, so that, like you said, when I'm not in the room, I want to make sure that my name is being said. Just off of that alone before I even go there.
Well, that I would say that was a divine setup.
Yes.
I mean, that's you can't make this stuff up. Okay.
Uh-uh.
You cannot make it up.
No, you can't.
No. And so I love it. I love it. Now, you're on The Voice. I want to know, what was it like behind the scenes? And I know you've had some dealings with Chance the Rapper. I mean, come on now, you got to tell us how that was behind the scenes and up front on the stage. What was that like?
So it was a journey. Like a lot of other contestants may say it was tiring because of all of the pre-production you have to do. All those moments you see me standing back there holding my hands like this, I'm leaning on the wall, all that pre-production stuff leading up to the actual blind audition.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a journey. And I was glad that I've been equipped to kind of flow through those moments. There wasn't much like nervousness because it's like, okay, I've seen cameras on me before. Honestly, it's more nerve-wracking when you have one camera on you, to be honest, like rather than like 20, because it was like, 10, 20 cameras pointing at you from different angles. And it's like it was a journey, and I was making sure that I'm in my moment, that I'm being me in all aspects of it. And when it came to the blind audition, again, that the wait is long, but hey, I've waited 10 years to get to this point, and I didn't even ask for this. So like, I'm not even going to complain about these 4 or 5 hours that I have to sit. So when it was time for me to go up there and sing, everything I had practiced, 2, 3 weeks prior, all of the rehearsals, all of the vocal coaching. I was just ready to display that in that 90 seconds that I had, and to really shock the world, even by singing the song I sung, I kind of took a different route from everybody else.
And what did you sing?
I actually sung "Try Me" by James Brown.
Yes, and I'm pulling that video up in a few moments.
Yeah, and it was like
Yes.
it was one of those ones that maybe people didn't know. I mean, because if
Uh-huh.
you don't know everybody, "Try Me" is almost 70 years old now.
Yes.
That is a song that I've known my whole life. I grew up listening to James Brown and Smokey and Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, all of the greats. I can go on and on. So yeah, I did something. I took a risk, but I'm glad I did because I was the only one to ever even sing the song on The Voice. To sing the song
You
on The
were
Voice.
unique.
Yes.
And I got to use this moment too. Uniqueness. Now,
Yes.
let's just go here. There are millions upon millions of vocalists and instrumentalists, but God will give you something unique that will stand out.
Yes.
And this is one of those moments where you were given something unique to do. Yes, it's been recorded by James Brown, but when I heard you do it, it didn't sound the same. You
Yes.
made it your own. And that is what was so special about it. Now, I'm going to pull that up because
Yes.
I want the audience to hear what I heard. So I'm going to share my screen a moment and let's hear what this sounds like, audience. Darling, tell me that I need you. I don't know what y'all saw, but listen here. I saw true talent, gift. I saw it.
Wow.
I was watching the expressions because I like to see expressions on the judges' faces. They were just vibing. They were in the moment, and you were too.
Yes.
That's what you came out the pocket with.
That's what I came out to try me. I'm letting y'all know that I'm bringing it different here.
And when you mentioned the type of music you grew up listening to, I grew up listening. That's another connecting point because my daddy, oh Lord, he's a soul and connoisseur. Soul. So that's what I grew up listening to. How old, do you mind telling me how old are you?
I am 37.
37. Okay,
Yeah.
so hey, you old school. You brought up in the old way.
Yes, I am. I'm the child that had to go. I'm used to being outside all day. I drink water from the water hose. Come on, I eat my watermelon. That's I grew up outside.
Yeah. So see that. Look, I'm not gonna be biased, but
Either.
if you grew up like that, you know.
That's it.
Where your roots lie. And so I commend you. That was just beautiful. So then you actually stayed on The Voice to the top 20, right? So how long was that? I know we see it on television, but how long did you really have to be involved with The Voice?
Went down in September. So from September to about February is when we were shooting. So I was back and forth between September and February. So what? September, October. So 6 months. It was a 6 month thing with them. And the show only lasted 2.5 months after that.
Wow. That is it's just amazing. It is amazing to see someone that aspired to do something and did not quit. And then you end up in this place not by your own seeking, okay? Which shows people that as long as you're in your purpose.
Yes.
You're in your purpose, you don't have to worry about the doors that open. You don't have to worry about the doors that close. I'm
Yeah.
sure many doors have closed for you too,
Oh,
right?
yes, I've seen them. Some doors is never open. I went
Yeah.
to them and locked.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I even
So
learned a
they're
lesson.
challenges,
Yep.
okay? They're
Mhm.
challenges, but no one can really stop what God has ordained for your life. It
Yes.
just cannot stop it, you know? So that you're a testimony. You really are. And I
Thank
hope that young people and older like are listening. I mean, really listening to what this conversation is about. Now, let me ask you this purpose.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, a lot of people have gifts.
Yep.
A lot of people have gifts and callings because they're
They,
without repentance.
mm-hmm.
But purpose is different.
It is.
Mhm. How do you know you're in your purpose? Or do you even think you're in it?
Yes, I do think I'm in my purpose. And like you said, I've gone through enough. I may not have understood it when I was, in my 20s,
Mhm.
but I've gone through enough to realize that, because one thing about your purpose is it's going to pull on you even
Yes.
when you're not pulling on it. Like there were times when I was like, is it really for me? Blah, 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 boom. But there it was, just it's pulling me somewhere. And even when I tried to go my own way, what I was, purpose to do was still like putting me, even when I tried to go around, I still ended up on the same road of, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. So it's like no matter what I did, it's like my purpose kind of just never let me go. It pulled on me. And honestly, that's how I know that I'm in it. And being in your purpose is another thing. It's not easy. It doesn't come easy. Because I feel like if it comes too easy, then I feel like it's going to end easily too. You know,
Ah, say
like
that again.
yes, if it comes too easy, it's going to end really easy. It's not going to take much to end it. You know,
Mm,
that's why that's another reason I know I'm in my purpose, because I've seen so many of my friends like go places like perform in Spain and perform in Europe, perform in China. I mean, doing all these things, but it kind of happened too fast for them. So now they're kind of doing other things. They've gone into
mm,
other ventures, but I've stayed the course on music ever since I knew I could do it. Like this has
mm.
literally been my only job since I understood I could actually do music. And another fun fact is I was playing in church since I've been 12 years old. I literally just resigned and kind of gave it to the younger generation last year.
Mhm.
So it's like I've been in my purpose my entire life. I've tried to seek other ways. I've had the moment where I want to do it a little faster. Let me try this and try that.
Don't
But
work.
if you're not, it does not work. If you're not true to it, it's just going to have an easy ending. But that easy ending is going to take you back further than what you were before you started. And
Mm, yes.
those are many reasons I know I'm in my purpose, and this is it.
And I was telling someone recently another way to know that you're in your purpose is you have a sense of peace and there
Yeah.
will be an internal joy. Even
Yes.
when challenges come up, you'll still have this joy about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So people who don't know how to identify your purpose, if you feel peace about what you're doing and you're happy in it, joy, not happy, joy is
Joy.
different. Joy.
Yes.
Then that's how you know that you're
Yes.
in your purpose.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Langley, I want to know, how has your experience here in Atlanta changed everything for you?
Yes.
Beyond the voice now, beyond the voice.
Okay.
There had to be, God must have led you to Atlanta for a purpose.
Oh yes.
So,
Oh.
how has that changed things for you?
Coming here to Atlanta allowed me to really express myself musically,
Mm,
whether I was performing, whether I'm playing with someone, or just rather I'm just in the room and they're writing music and I give a few words to finish. And
mm-hmm,
just being here has allowed me to meet a lot of people T.I. and Tiny's daughter, Zonique. I was able to work with her and help her write some music. I've worked with Miss Darlene McCoy, which is
Mm-hmm.
auntie to me now, which is
Mm-hmm.
it makes, now that I'm saying it, it's like wow. I've had opportunities and songs on Being Mary Jane on BT. I've been on Chris Brown's album, and I've had the opportunity to play with Bobby Valentino on stage a few shows and open up for Anthony Hamilton and Fantasia and open up for Gerald Levert and and Johnny Gill and El DeBarge and Keith Sweat and all of them. But that's all because I made my move here.
Yes.
I had a good job down there in South Carolina in the country. I was doing well, but I knew that wasn't it. And I had to give up all of the things that were going to end up being temporary in the long haul anyway. And I just chased after my purpose. Now, was it like a challenge? Yes. Is it still a challenge every day? Yes. But like you said, when you have a sense of peace in what you're doing, you never really see the challenge because what you're passionate about is not even work. It's just
That's
you're doing
right.
it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So being here has allowed me to really just grow, and not just grow as a musician and an artist and a songwriter, but grow as a person and have tough skin when it comes to the music business and a sense of peace. And I'm not so eager to get to the money or get to the bag. I'm not so
That's
eager to
important.
be in the room and to be, to always be in the limelight. I'm not like anxious for that stuff. I'm just at peace and I'm going through my journey, how I need to go through it so that God could be pleased with me and that he could use me to spread what he gave me when I didn't even understand what I had yet.
Mm-hmm.
So Atlanta has definitely opened that for me.
I my son is a producer, so I have watched the people he's been around. And I know that you as well, like him, you've been in some rooms that you weren't raised to be in.
There you go. Yep. There you go.
But you were respected in the room.
Yes, every single
Or
time.
I want you to talk about that a little bit because, like I said, we have some young people that listen and they need to understand. And you don't have to sing gospel, do you, to
You don't.
represent
You don't.
God?
You don't.
You don't.
You don't.
So can you talk about that just a little bit? Because somebody asked me that recently, and I said, no, you don't have to sing gospel. You can still represent God in the territory He's placed you in.
Yes. And the funny thing is, you don't have to go in there preaching a Bible to anyone or, hey, can I pray for you while you're in the studio? You just be the light because that's what God gave us. And just just be at peace. And, like even there were times when I'm playing on people's tracks and these are like rappers. I mean, I'm trap rappers, everything. I've worked with everybody. There are times I'm playing on the track and they are so excited, they have a sense of joy in the moment and they don't know why. And it's because I feel like the anointing is flowing through me in that moment, through my playing, through my singing, through my ideas. And they don't know what they're feeling, but I know what they're feeling. That's just God came in the room with me. And I prayed outside before I came in, like I usually do anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're feeling that feeling of excitement is just not, yeah, I'm happy in the moment. It's just the joy that was brought in the room by me. So it's like, why would I force myself to be like what the room is? Because the room is, again, that's a temporary moment. You're in there for 2 to 3 hours. Once you leave, like, then who are you really when when no one's around? And that's the person you should really be bringing into the room. And honestly, I've been able to do that, and I've trusted that. Even in moments when, I'm sorry, even even in moments when there's like, I've been offered, people like, hit the blunt, do this and drink this, and I'm like, I'm actually good. The blunt makes you think better and it makes you create better. No, the God Almighty helps me create better. All I have to do is pray and open my mouth and trust in what He gives me, and it's going to come out every time. That's why it comes out different and unique every time. And that's why even we can take it back to The Voice. Even some of the contestants, they were asked, hey, if you can vote for one person out of these 40 people that you would want to see just win. And literally everyone called my name. And I didn't force that, but it's just bringing the light to the room all the time. So back to your point, just be the room. Don't just be in the room, but make sure that you're controlling the room as well. But you don't have to work hard to do that. Just pray and you just move how, just let
You
God flow.
don't have to. You don't have to sell out to who you really are.
You don't.
Be in
No.
the room. That's all we're saying.
That's it.
You don't have to do it. And we are admonished to be lights.
Yes.
And so we have to go throughout the world, not just behind the four walls.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We are sent outside of the world, out to the world, because God is not in a box.
No, he isn't. And I understood that as well. Being a professional player, playing at church, and that's good. But like I always knew that I would be pulled out beyond that to really show God's light in in a bigger space. And it's funny. I tell people this all the time. I had a dream before of me being on stage in all white, and it's a crowd of people. And that was a dream I had 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago. So when I was laughing because they dressed me all white. They dressed me all white the first time, and for my battle round, they dressed me in all white. And that was really my battle round was really close to the dream I had because I was playing the guitar and I was all white and I was singing on stage. And so yeah, just let God flow, man. That's it.
That's it. Now, I'm going to ask you one more thing. I just got to know this too. No, I'm going to ask you two more things. Let me tell the truth. I'm going to ask you two more things. And one of those is, how do you plan to use your voice from this point on to inspire others? If you know what I'm saying, or elevate your career, how do you plan? What is your plan for that?
My plan moving forward is to continue to tell my story and let people know that it's not where you're from. It's really about who you are and who you serve. That's important too. And honestly, my goal is to just continue to let people know, especially younger people. Like I always think about them all the time for some odd reason. So I think that's a whole nother other calling that I probably have that I haven't explored yet. But just thinking about younger people and letting them know, man, just be yourself in this day and time. That's my biggest thing. That's always my biggest thing I say. And I want to use my voice to let people know that it's okay to be you in 2023. Yes. I know that things come fast when you portray something, but the back end of these things have gotten worse over time because of the internet and because of the way technology has changed. So the hole is a little deeper than it was when I was younger and I may have done something now. So it's like you don't want to dig yourself out of this deep, deep hole because you tried to be something that you're not. Just really be yourself. So I want to use my voice to be myself, and I want to display that continuously in my music as well. Just create what I hear and not what I'm, not try to create based off of what, based off of people and what I feel like it's going to really make the people like me and stuff. It's like, just trust what God gave you. That's it.
That's it. Now, the last thing I want to ask you, I heard this song in my research of you. It's called Beautiful. You know what I'm talking about? It was something, you had it on. I said, oh, I got to get him to sing. It's something about beautiful. Do you know what I'm talking? You were singing
it? Is it now, is it an older song?
It might have been. I'm not sure. But I thought I got to get him to sing one line of that or something. It was something about beautiful. And I didn't pull it up. You don't remember what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
You were. It was like an acoustic video of yourself. You were playing and
acoustic video, singing and playing something beautiful.
You. Well, we'll settle for cruising, because that's one of my favorite. That's another one of my favorite too. Just send me a line or two of cruising. How about that?
You ready? Let's cruise away from here. Don't be confused. The way is clear. And if you want it, you got it forever.
Yes.
This is not a one night stand. No. Ooh. Let the music take your mind, your mind, your mind.
Yes.
Just release and you will find that you're gonna fly away. That's my way. I love it when we're cruising together.
Yes, I like that. See, that's my kind of music. That's what's on my playlist. Jamar.
Yes.
Yes. I thank you so much for conversating with me today.
It's been amazing.
And I always like to leave a point to ponder. And I'm going to throw that ball in your court today. So if you could leave the audience with a point to ponder, what would that be today?
If I can leave the audience with one thing, it would be to ride the wave, because the storm doesn't last forever.
Woo, I like that. All right.
That's it.
How are you going to ride the wave? How are you going to ride the wave?
Listen.
Because you know the storm is coming to an end.
Come on. You know the storm is coming. There you go. You got to listen. Trust in what you built. And when the waves come, what you built should sustain. And, just ride that. Just ride it. Ride that wave. Because the storm does end. Storms don't last forever.
Thank you so much. And how can someone contact you if there are some other opportunities? How can they contact you?
Yes, you can contact me on Instagram at Jamar Langley Music. You can reach me on Facebook at Jamar Langley Music, on Twitter at Jamar_Langley, even on TikTok at Jamar Langley Music. I also, if you go to my bio on Instagram, it does say JL Booking on there. If you want to write me via email, you can, and connect with me that way. And we're currently working on the emailing list to put everybody there so you can just stay updated with me. But write me, DM me, any point of contact, and I will talk to you. I don't care.
All that good stuff, y'all.
Yes, you want to talk about your day, or you need help getting through something, DM me. I'll talk to you.
That's it. Come on now. Listen, I support you, and I am so excited to see what doors are going to open for you next.
Yes.
And I know it's going to be grand. I know it's going to be grand because your name is already out there.
Yes.
Floating in the wind.
Like you said, it's in rooms right now that I'm not in.
That you're not even in. And like I say, audience, every week, if you would like to be a part of this discussion, please contact me at drmarcyts@gmail.com, or you can join a group of creators on Facebook. The Connecting Point for Creators group is just a group of creators of all kinds that connect to inspire each other, to network, and to receive words of inspiration throughout the week. So if that sounds like something you want to do, just send a request to join, and we'd love to have you. This show airs on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. on Instagram TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and on Wednesday nights on KBCN TV and Spotify. So all I ask you to do is click, like, share so that others may be inspired. Again, thank you, Mr. Langley. Thank you, audience. And until we see each other again, peace and blessings. Bye-bye.